see what this one is. This one felt pretty good. The solution that I felt that I did earlier did not really work. Alright guys, well, we are here at Cresson once again, and this time it's official, man. We are here at the very first time trial event with the Texas SCCA Time Trial region. This is also my first time trial, so I'm glad that I did the Track Night in America shown in the previous video. So it get a little bit of a feel for the car, a feel for the track. It's been a bit since I've been on the track and everything, so now I'm feeling much more confident. But before we get started, if you watched the last video, there were a few changes that I talked about making to the car, so let's go check on that. Well guys, the weather is looking much better now. At first it was looking like it's gonna rain. All right guys, well before we get started with time trials, for those of you who watched the last video, there was one thing that I'd mentioned I was gonna get, that rear axle hose vent or vent hose for that issue I was having with the leaky rear axle. I was able to get that. This next thing is really thanks to the community. I had someone that I was talking with on Facebook on a local Texas road racing time trial group page. Recommend that I get an oil separator for the car, and after doing some research, it was something that was really necessary. They're super easy to install. I was able to pick one up from American Muscle. It should really help with the longevity and also just getting a bit more power out of the car too without having oil leaking in it or anything like that. So we'll walk through the quick install of that and make sure we're all set to go. Now that is a thing of beauty right there. Part of the reason why it's important to have an oil separator is it prevents the engine from really sledging up with oil. It also prevents something called engine blow-by, which as a result can really decrease fuel efficiency and also just power in general. So you don't want to lose either of those. So an oil separator for the engine, as you saw, very easy to install, and it really pays dividends down the road. I was going to take it over to the shop first thing in the morning, tomorrow morning, which is the day of the time trial, to get that rear axle vent hose installed, but I figured, you know what, I think I could just do this myself. I'm trying to cut back on taking the car to the shop for the simple tasks and just doing that myself. So I ended up just doing that. I jacked the rear of the car up, removed the right rear tire. On the 2011, like I mentioned, that vent hose is on the right side, the passenger side of the vehicle. So once I did that, basically just had to remove the existing bleeder valve, which it's really tough to get to with this car, with the 2011. So removing the right rear wheel gives you a little bit more of a spot to get in there. Just give yourself some time and patience. Once you take it out, then just clean it off a little bit, remove the existing bleeder valve, attach the new one once you clean it off, if there's any like residue on there. Attach it down. I believe it's like 15 foot-pounds of torque. I could be wrong. 20 Newton meters. Tighten that down, attach the hose, and then it should clip onto the diff itself. If you're using the stock diff like I am, it should just clip right onto the diff itself. It was a little bit of a stretch. I think this is more designed for the 2012, where that bleeder valve is a little bit closer to the diff. And like I said, it's on the driver's side. Once you have that connected, you're pretty much done. Put your wheel back on, tighten it down 100 foot-pounds, and you should be good to go. So I did have a few people ask me what kind of tire I'm using. So here it is. I put it up on the screen here, the A052 from Yokohama. Those tires are phenomenal. So far, just in the 2 sessions I've used them on track, they've been incredible. Really, really good for this car. I should add too that since I'm going to be competing in time trial, you are restricted on the size of tire that you can use. So for SCCA Sport 4 class, which is what I'm running, S4, the max tire width I can run is a 265. And honestly, I haven't had any issues with it so far. It's been very grippy. I know there's some science behind having too wide of a tire versus too narrow of a tire, but so far in my minimal experience with tire experimentation, 265, I have no complaints about it whatsoever. One of the best things about having a car you take on the track, stickers. Who doesn't love stickers? And thanks to Fuel Clothing for coming in, man, and dropping some awesome stickers. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, I laid this out nicely so it looks all artsy and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna put a few of these on the car. I got a few more other ones that I may put on. Some of them are required, some of them are not. But yeah, definitely gonna be representing Fuel out there. I love their clothes, their t-shirts, their hats, their socks, all kinds of good stuff. I'm just happy to be a part of the Fuel family. But before I can put any stickers on this thing, I gotta give it a bath. Here in Texas, man, the pollen is pretty nuts right now. So the car is covered in like a yellow film. So we're gonna clean the sucker up, maybe put some stickers on it, and then get it loaded up for time trials. Oh man, it may look pretty on the outside, but this is by no means a show car. It's one of those things where the closer you look at it, the worse it looks. 175,000 miles, you can pretty much see it on this thing. It's pretty well mostly taken care of on the outside, but it definitely has some wear and tear. But even so, man, you know, when you're pulling up to the track, you know, like I said, it's not a show car, but you want to look your best. There could be photographers there and everything. You want to get some good pictures of your car. You don't want to look all dirty, even though it is, yes, it is going to get all dirtied up while it's on the track. You at least want to put your best foot forward to make your car look as good as it possibly can. Okay, maybe not possibly, because it could always be better. But you want to make it look good. You know what I mean? So whenever you're laying your stickers out, you want to kind of just have them laid out first, just to kind of get an idea of what they'll look like instead of just trying to figure it out while they're on your car, because that can usually end very poorly. So probably just going to be putting these on there first, since I only have one of these. I need to find another one. I got this from the Track Night in America, so I need another one of these. But for now, it's probably just going to be these three, and then we will go from there. Guys, not too bad of a place to start. Got to clean off a little bit of residue around the Coney sticker. It's a pretty old sticker. I'm surprised it still actually worked, but yeah, not too bad for just starting off. Let's do the other side. And the only thing left to do now is load up the car. Look, man, where there's a will, there's a way. It's like taking the kids to the park, right? Just stuff it all in there as best you can. The other kid is in the trunk. He's the problem child, so there you go. With the oil separator in, with the rear axle vent hose installed, with the car stickered up and clean, I think we're good to go. So with that being said, back to the track. So I am many things, but one thing I am definitely not is a morning person. As I quickly found out when registering for the time trial event, the gates open at 6:30 in the morning, which means I have to leave the house by 5:30 in the morning, which means I have to get up out of bed at 4 in the morning. If you know me, 4 in the morning on a Saturday morning, that's usually when I'm going to bed. So waking up at that point was just bonkers for me. Filled up the car with mostly high quality gas and got on the way. As this was my first SCCA time trial event, even though I have my full competition license, I still had to do a check ride with one of the instructors. Basically, they just sat in the car for the first few laps of the first session, made sure I was good to go, and then sent me back out on my way. For the first session, I didn't have any camera gear running. I wasn't really sure how I was going to do, but oddly enough, on the first session, I ended up hitting my fastest lap. So today in the first session, I did a 29.5, which is pretty good for me in this car. When I was last out here with Track Night of America on the last video, I was doing like 132s. My friend Daniel was there clocking lap times for me from the paddock, and I thought for sure that the best I could do was maybe a 30. So to hit a 29.5 first thing in the morning when I really wasn't pushing was promising. The only problem was the lingering issue that I had with the diff during the Track Night of America reared its ugly head once again. When I got out of the car after the first session, I saw the entire back end of the car was pretty much splattered with diff fluid. So I had to take the car back over to Rapscallion. They looked at it again, and we basically found out that this is far worse than I thought it was going to be. You see the cars behind me over here at Rapscallion, just having them take a look at the diff again, because there's already some leaky fluid issues. That solution that I felt that I did earlier did not really work. So we're looking at a few different solutions, or maybe something more effective that will hopefully work, because I'm only one session in and it's already leaking a lot of fluid. So I don't want it to be a complete waste of money, and I would love to be able to finish the day, but obviously you got to take care of the car because this is how I get home. So we'll see what happens, man. After they topped off the diff with some fresh fluid, they installed a catch can on the rear of the car, which basically allowed me to continue throughout the day. Thank God for Rapscallion. Those guys really came in to help me out. So every time I finish a session, I have to go down the shop and they have to top up the diff fluid. Whenever I finished the second session, a 20-minute session, I filled up an entire water bottle full of diff fluid from the catch can that they put in there. So that's kind of the problem, and that's also going to be a big issue down the line. So this was basically just a Band-Aid to get me through the day. Because obviously when I do track days or time trial events with different organizations that are further away than where I'm at now, I'm not going to have a race shop nearby, especially if I go to Hallett in Oklahoma. So that's something to consider for future events. So for now, let's finish this day up and see what happens.
The white flag is out, 1 lap to go.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy a lap around MSR Cresson in an overweight 2011 V6 Ford Mustang.
Go. All right, that felt good. Just managing the throttle through here. Back on the power. Brake hard. Tip it in. Let's see what this one is. This one felt pretty good. 30.3, not too bad. I think there's a lot of potential, considering I was hitting the 30s in the final session when it was the hottest. I think that it bodes well for this car. That honestly makes me feel a lot better. So I was kind of feeling a little down, wondering if I got myself into something that I shouldn't be getting myself into with this. So thank you guys for joining me. All right, guys. Well, the event is done. The car's loaded up. The good news is I finished all 4 sessions. Thank you guys for coming along with me on that final session. I came away with a good sense of where the car is at, where I'm at as a driver, and I feel a lot more confident. There's still a lot of work left to do on the car. It gets expensive, man. I film weddings on the side, so I'm gonna have to shoot some more weddings. If you guys want to come along on this journey with me, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe. This is gonna be one wild ride, and I would love to have you guys come along with me. So thank you again, and I will see you next time.